Actually, I started from Transocean Inc., which is the biggest oil drilling company in the world. And then my previous boss resigned from Transocean. He moved to a new company, newly formed company, which is Pacific Drilling. And then after 2 months, he asked me if I'm interested to work with Pacific Drilling. So I told him where the assignment is. So sabi niya, it will be in Korea. So I said, okay, I'll go for it because for the past 10 years, 15 years, most of my assignments were in South America. Brazil, Trinidad and Tobago, and Suriname, Venezuela. With a few years in West Africa, Nigeria and Gabon. Well, actually, we have a project accountant, so I'm doing the work of, I would say, here it's a project or country project finance controller. Because one drill ship costs around 650 million, so we have around, so far, we entered into a contract with Samsung for 8 ultra deep water drill ships. So that's, and then we ordered another 4. So I'm handling a $6 billion project here in Korea.
Sir, can you give us gano'ng katagal lang kayo nag-work and then yung challenges that you face working with
I think the reason why I got this job is because I started a good career in PricewaterhouseCoopers in Manila. Auditing company, consulting company. And then they said that because of my good look, I used to work in Broadcast City. No, I'm just joking. But I used to work with the RSB group of companies as assistant conglomerate controller, and we have some interest in radio and communications and television. And then after that, I was recommended to work with Transocean on a 10 weeks on, 2 weeks off basis in Vietnam. So I told them, no, I do not want to work outside the Philippines, but nahiya yung nag-recommend sa akin that sabi niya, give it a try, just for 1 hitch. So after 1 hitch, sabi ko, no, I still want to stay in the Philippines. And then sabi niya, 1 more hitch, 1 more try. And then after the third one, so I said, okay, I'll just accept the job. And then after that, yeah, I stick with Transocean for 14 years. But my assignments were usually, sabi ko, mostly in South America. No, Pacific Drilling is a US, our head office is in Houston, but it's registered in a British Virgin Island. And the owner is Eden Offer. Eden Offer is the #1 man or the richest man in Israel. But he would like to cover it up, so that's why most of the management are in Houston. Working in Korea is nice. It's easy to deal with the Koreans except for the language barrier. Maybe it's because I would say our company is a client of Samsung, and since I occupy a high position in our company, the treatment is different from other, I would say, other foreigners or other Filipinos or nationalities working in Samsung. So clients are given preferences. So that's the reason why the managers, VPs of Samsung, they respect me, and maybe that's because also of my position. The Filipino community in Geoje, they respect me. But actually in general, respect your fellow man and they will also respect you. So it's not the position, it's not your status in the community. Well, I'm the principal mover of the Filipino Association in Geoje, or Filipino community in Geoje, when I found out that a lot of Filipinas married to Koreans need help. They were taken for granted, not by the embassy, don't get me wrong. They were taken for granted in the sense that, the professionals, they do not mingle with them. It's because they're a bit shy, maybe because of their status in the community. So they do not have much education. They came from poor provinces, came here on a arranged marriage. This sect called the Munis, I think most of them came from that sect. And 80% of them, I would say, are not so happy with their marriage, but they have to go. They cannot get out of it. But 20% also are, I would say, or a bit higher, are lucky. So their husband are treating them well. Maayos ang buhay nila. Some are English teachers. So I was able, our association were able to gather them and help them when they are in need. Actually, there are 3 groups of Filipinos in Geoje. Number 1 group are the professionals, who are the engineers, accountants, and some, I would say, administrative people or as administrative managers. They are very easy to deal with because they are professionals. And the second group are the Filipinas married to Koreans, which I explained to you that, came here on a pre-arranged marriage. And the third group are I would say, the entertainers. They are in the entertainment business. And they seldom go out because by the nature of their work, they cannot go out because when you bring them out, you have to pay the bar fine of around $300, $400 per night. Sorry to say that, but you will not believe it that per annum they can send foreigners around 150 to 200 trips to the Philippines. Their friends, or I would not say customers, their friends, I would say, fall in love with them. So the girl would say, hey, come on, let's go back to the Philippines. Or visit my family, my friends. So they will go, and they are big spenders. So I would say they help also in the economy. Attorney Bai will not agree with me that way. Those are the people who can help the tourism. Most of our help are financial help because it's easy to ask donation from the professionals. They receive good salaries. So mostly financial help. If we need legal help, then we have no choice but to course it through the embassy. To be honest, I supported Manny Villar during the election because I know that he can deliver being a businessman. But after a few months of Pinoy in the office of our president in the office, I started to admire his sincerity and honesty. He is a very honest and sincere president. Well, he has a good intention to clean the government. He has a good intention on infrastructures. But he's on the right direction. My upbringing is, I would say, the way we conduct business in the U.S. In fact, every year, I have to sign into this a legal document that I promise to the company or to the U.S. government that I will abide by their Foreign Corrupt Act practices, that in case I will violate it, I can be jailed in the U.S. And so, one of those. So, our company having worked in a U.S.-based company for so long, if I will not deliver, the company will terminate my services. I will lose my job. So I have really to do my job diligently. If our engineers will say, hey, you have to do it, we have to do it, we have to finish the project on time. Otherwise, our competitors will overtake us. So we will lose our profitability. I would say managing a country is similar to managing a company. If the people are not delivering or not doing their work properly, you must have the heart and courage to terminate those people. So if we cannot finish a project on time, it means our competitors will overtake us, and I think it's what's happening now in the Philippines. We are overtaken, well, by other Asian countries. At least, we should be fast enough, not fast, or at least at par or at the same pace with other Asian countries. Otherwise, I think our economy will not improve. But I think Pinoy is on the right direction. In fact, last month when I went back home, I secured my travel exit clearance. I was surprised at the speed I was able to get it. It took me just 45 minutes to get an exit clearance. So his idea of having electronic transactions between the government and the people is paying off. I think that's one attribute I can give to Pinoy, and even the embassy, our embassy, I would say in general, they're doing a very good service. The Ambassador Cruz is friendly and humble, and I like his idea of opening the embassy on Sundays because it helped a lot of, especially the factory workers. And Attorney Bai is very approachable and taking care of the FW. So I noticed also that a big change when I compare the government services a few years ago compared to now. Yes, there is an improvement.